2002. I had just graduated college, gotten over pneumonia, and had a breath reduction. It was a really great time for me. When my best friend, Peter, asked me if I wanted to go on a road trip to drive him back to San Francisco to move him home, I was like, sure, why not? Hey, couldn't be any better. So, we got in the car. He came to Medford, New Jersey. We agreed on a few things. One was there's nothing to see between Medford, New Jersey and Knoxville, Tennessee. We also agreed that we wanted to spend at least a week of our 3 weeks in California. The third thing we agreed on was that we wanted to fast food our way across the country. I wanted to see things like Jack in the Box and Carl's Jr., and he knew where to show me where they were. It was an excellent time for us. It was post 9/11, but pre-Super Size Me expose documentary. So it was a lot of panic and comfort food, but you didn't feel guilty about it. It was wonderful. We got in the car in Medford, and Peter made me start the leg, because that's where I grew up, you know, so we were driving down, and we're laughing, ha, and we get to DC, and then I start, of course, panicking. So I get out of the car, and he gets in the car, and he starts driving. So we're driving down, and then, you know, I don't know, 5 hours later, we're just at the other side of DC. And so I get back in the car, and I start driving. This is like right in the beginning of cell phones. It's 2002, right? So, you know, some people were lucky enough to have cell phones. We didn't. He calls his girlfriend, and I'm driving. Apparently, he does not know road trip etiquette at this point. So he's in there, and I'm driving, I'm panicking, it's dark. I'm like, we've been driving for like 10 hours at this point, haven't got very far, and he's on the phone talking to his girlfriend, I love you so much, I love you so much. Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, I'm the girl that was in love with you that said that I'd go on this trip with you, and meanwhile, your girlfriend's back somewhere else, and I'm all like, whatever, you're going to be gay in a couple years, but whatever. So, we get through, we're driving, we get all the way down to Tennessee, and I start hallucinating. It was totally cool. I don't want to tell Peter because I'm totally tough, and I want him to think that I'm the best road trip buddy ever, so he stops loving her and starts loving me, and we live happily ever after. But I really can't tell the difference between the side lines on the road and the middle lines on the road, and we're driving, and I just start crying, and we get to a Super 8 motel. We get out of the car, and I open the door, and all of the soda that we brought with us falls out of the car and starts rolling around in the parking lot. And I sit on the ground, and I start crying, and Peter, being one of the most wonderful friends ever, just starts running around the parking lot, saying, "It's okay. It's just soda," and I hear it next to my ear crack open. And he starts drinking it, and he says, "It's still delicious." And I just cry, and we get inside, and I try and fall asleep. We can't, because, you know, we're driving for 14 hours at this point, and we've been in the car, and I've just been sitting still, and I'm so tired, so of course I just start giggling uncontrollably. We have to meet our friends at Graceland in the morning, like at some point in time, and in the morning, it's probably in the afternoon at that point. We have to meet our friends, and so we force ourselves to go to sleep, and we wake up. I'm the one who really wanted to go to Graceland. We get there, and Graceland is closed. And they're like, "We can stay overnight, we can stay overnight." And I literally just stand there and look at them and I say, "I don't want to stay." They're like, "Why not?" And I was like, I didn't realize how freaked out I would be by Graceland. People still live in this house and have not invited me in. I don't know. I'm not a vampire, but it's still weird. I don't want to do it. So I made them all go to Graceland. And then I made them all leave Graceland. And then we headed to New Orleans, which I guess is basically like the same exact thing. And then we danced with thieves and all that kind of stuff. And it was super fun. Apparently at one point we tried to camp, we couldn't camp, there's cockroaches everywhere. We stayed in the car, we slept in the car, they wouldn't tell me about the cockroaches, they made me sleep with the windows open, and then it got really sweaty and hot, and I was like, "Why can't we open the windows?" They're like, "Don't open the windows," and I wouldn't know why, and then finally we got all the way to the Painted Desert, and then Peter was like, "Oh my god, I totally wanted to tell you that there was cockroaches everywhere in Texas," and I was like, "What?" And then I got really mad, and then we fought, but then Bruce Springsteen came on the radio, and then we fell in love again. It was wonderful, it was the best friendship ever. We got to California, I touched the Pacific Ocean, it was my first time ever. Then we drank Tecate, we ate a steak, and it was the best trip of my life. Mainly because my parents weren't there and I could do whatever I wanted, like drink King Cobras in a Motel 6, like 2 o'clock in the morning. And no one told me that I couldn't do that. It was awesome. So anyway, if you ever get a chance, or if your kids ever ask you if they can, please let them drive cross country as their graduation present when they graduate from college. It was the best time of my life. Hooray!